I forgot to mention that on this, let me take this camera off of here, but right here in the directions for retractable gear, it says it doesn't mention anything about putting this in here. And normally it's for, like, if you're going to have fixed gear and there's a knurled, like a 15 millimeter thing that the landing gear goes on there, and it goes through here. But anyway, it was so loose and sloppy that I just couldn't leave it out. So I went ahead and epoxied it in for strength. Another thing that kind of baffles me is I don't understand why they have that threaded rod going through there, that screw. It's an 832 by 2¼ inch bolt that goes through there, and it rests up underneath that. Of course, that all gets sand down. I don't understand why they did that. Maybe just a little bit of strength for the foam, but I've been real skeptical about these foam wings. I'm afraid, you know, since there's only a spar that goes from here to here, and it doesn't go all the way through the entire wing, I'm afraid these things are going to fold when you go around a corner. But I've never heard of anybody ever folding a Byron wing, even when they do it by the directions. So I'll just do it by the directions. Of course, I have to glue this tip back on. It over here somewhere. I got it over here somewhere, but anyway, it broke off due to hanger rash after bouncing around in the shop for about 4 years now. So I'm going to join these wing halves together. I got to clean up my table here, get all this on here, and apparently each tip goes up 4½ inches. That's pretty good dehedral. I'm going to leave it exactly the way the directions say. Some people say, like, the top flight plane has too little dehedral. These Byrons flew like Bill trainers, and probably the reason why is because they had a pretty good dehedral. I don't know how scale that is, but like I said, I'm going to stick with the directions exactly what it says to do. 30 years can't be proven wrong. Joining the wing panels, Byron P51 Mustang. Use the directions, but man, give you an idea of these directions, how vague they are. And this is the new improved 1987 version compared to the version that I had before. It says that you take the wing panel that has the 1/16 inch ply center rib attached. That'd be this one. And using a square, block up the wingtip until the center rib is vertical. Which it is, perfectly. And then block up the other panel and check fit of the two panels. I already did that while you guys weren't watching. And it says dehedral is approximately 4½ inches at each tip. That's funnier than crap. Approximately 4½ inches at each tip. Now, is that the middle of each tip or at the bottom or whatever it is? I've got right now approximately, that would be 4½ inches to the bottom. It wouldn't be the tip. That's with that perfectly level. Let's try something else here. Let's see what it is right now. It's actually 4 7/8 with that being perfectly level right there. So approximately is approximately. I guess to Byron it didn't really matter. As long as you have some dehedral in it and all that. I think these wingtips, or these do not fit that perfectly. This one here, let's see here. One of them is a little bit thicker than the other one on the top right here. And if I were to lock this one up exactly the same, The front part works good, the back part doesn't, and it's just a little bit off in the back. So what I want to make sure is get it pretty close. I just don't want there to be a twist in the wing. All this, when I glass all this, I can cover all that up and make it just as smooth and pretty as could be. But anyway, that's what we're going to do. I'm going to join it right now. Do here. I have never joined a wing that was quite like this one. This is really strange, to say the least. And it says to put the glue on this wing, not this one. Put it on the foam. I'm not going to put a lot of glue on there. But just it doesn't say anything about putting a dowel in the front or anything like that. It's just, it scares the crap out of me. I think this wing is going to fold. Long pieces, put one right here, one right here. Smell like this is all going to get all tangled up. I see it coming. Use some heavier duty tape. I'm using 30-minute epoxy, brand new ones here. Pull the little thing out. Shouldn't really take that much. I don't want to over glue this and have it dripping all over the place and getting all over the place. Just kind of, then the tape doesn't stick and everything else. So, you can see here, I'm going to make a little mark where my brace is here. So it'll be a little easier to line up when I take it off the table. Okay, some stick. How come this is so thin, you say? That's because I put it in hot water. Get tired of that. It's not so hot where it's going to kick off real quick, a lot quicker, but just put it in some hot water and it makes it a little bit thinner. It's 30-minute epoxy, so it'll soak into the wood, it'll soak into the foam, and before it sets, if it sets up too quick, it doesn't allow it time to soak into the wood and give it a real strong joint. For some of you people that have never built a plane and don't know a lot about glues, that's why that when you buy DevCon epoxy at Home Depot or Lowe's or something like that, and it says 2-ton epoxy versus the other kinds, 2-ton means that it's set up a lot slower and it allowed it to soak into each piece that is being laminated or joined. That's nice and mixed, so uniform color. Even though I have time with this, I'm not going to work so slow as to that the epoxy is going to set up. Now here's another thing I'm going to do. I'm going to mark this on the table where it's at. I'm going to mark my block on the table where it's at, so that way when I put it back on the table it'll be that much quicker. Okay. Now, what I want to do here is I want to neatly put some of this epoxy on here. Oh, I forgot one thing. I want to kind of poke some holes in here. I saw a video that Bob Moore made. Oh, B1 Bob. Shout out to you, because I tell you, I've been watching your videos for 4 years, and you've taught me a lot. A lot of stuff that I didn't think I'd ever learn. It's really cool. And I really admire the fact that you go out of your way to show the public about how to do this stuff. It shows an unselfish side of you. Good job. I haven't missed a single episode that you've ever made. Of course, I skip through them when I get a little bit bored or it's repetitious, but that's okay. That's okay. Okay, so I got some holes poked in there, and what I'm going to do here is I'm going to start laying this on here. And I'm going to push it down in them holes. Uh-oh. We're in trouble. This stuff kicked off in less than 30 minutes. Wow. A little bit too hot. That's got to be mislevel, because this is only room temperature. 30 minutes. That wasn't 30 minutes, that's for sure. Huh. Wow. How long was that, you guys, that I mixed that? It wasn't 5 minutes. If this is 5 minutes epoxy, that's going to be bad. Wow. Let's try it again. Glad I caught that when I did. Some more. How many minutes was that? That wasn't very much. Just kicked off quick. Sloppy. Take off some of that excess, let it soak into the foam a little bit. I can't believe how fast that kicked off. I hope this is not 5-minute epoxy. I have some sanding to do now. It's got me nervous. Put it in the spar. Hey. Said I've never quite joined a wing that was like this before. This is definitely different. And it specifically says do not put the epoxy on the wood side, just the foam side. Unbelievable how much difference there is.